Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Stars Let's Play. This is Northstar. I hope you folks are well, taking care of each other, and being kind to yourselves. Today's been a rough day, and for most of the day I haven't had the energy to do anything because of my long COVID. This is something people don't live this disease will never, well, some might get. But it's something that certainly people aren't gonna, how would I say it? Innately understand without thinking about it. That's why it pisses me off, where people always be like, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do this? Why don't you approach this organization that never actually has any resources to help? Because these things take energy. Immense energy. And also, there's always approach this group, approach that, and they never have anything, to help. There's a lot of illusions of help that don't actually exist because, what people often need is, say, money to pay rent. But, organizations have like, oh, you're in danger of potentially becoming homeless? Here, have a backpack and, Nutrient bars if that's gonna stop me from eventually running out of money to pay rent. It's insane. It's just posturing. Anyways, let's see. There's something I was trying to remember though about. Not the wrong button. I was trying to remember something about what I was gonna be doing next, and it was hard. It was like on the edge of my mind, but I couldn't remember. I mean, I'm probably not going to. Species rights can't be set from the all species tab? Really? So that, that's stupid. I would want to do it so I could, not have to worry about it later when one of these pops actually does enter Manpower. I was going to take a look at, whether I had to kill civilians set to protected or exploited. Since you can only change stuff like that every 10 years, set it to what I want it to be in the beginning, which I might not want for a full 10 years. It's just obnoxious. Used to be you could set from all species tab. I don't know why the devs disabled that. Hold on a second. Sorry. Had a, Remy's just walking around super loud. It's like, does not, I guess this guy never learned to be quiet, which is ridiculous because, I walk around quiet. There's another guy here who walks around super, super quiet. He's stealthy as shit. The other guy is not that loud, and there's this one he just stomps around everywhere and he makes a noise like an elephant. Like, I mean, well, I can't, my walking isn't the quietest, but I don't slam, but that's just the way my feet are structured or something. I don't like slam doors, and I take a pattern of walking that makes less noise than if I don't pay attention to it. This guy's just like opening and closing doors really loud and slamming stuff around all the time. It's like no one else in this apartment makes that much noise, but he's apparently never learned to, be considerate of these things. Anyways, I'm almost done with the orders. Mandarin. Fortified outposts where knights collaborate with the vassal in search for the toxic god, or subjects are expected to provide with resources and data. Support it. Yep, and then an aid agency. Hey, there's even some civilians to go into those jobs, so I won't be taking pops from more valuable jobs, at least some of them. They're not capped on many, so it'll add a little happiness to the planet. Make crime a bit easier to control. Oh, I was thinking. I wonder if what I was gonna do. Give me 1 second to think. Sorry, I knew it was something to do with plant management, so I was looking around a couple things, trying to figure out, like, would it be an anti-crime campaign? I only have 12 enforcers. I'm pretty sure the tiny number it would save wouldn't be worth a uni to be able to, do the same work with like 10 or 9 enforcers or whatever. It might pay for itself, but an incredibly long time period. Speaking of somewhat long time periods, moving the civilian industry to Hesuk and heavy industry to Synth, pretty sure it would take something like 30 years to pay for itself. So not the best payoff, although actually many things in this game are around that. So a little short in minerals. Anyways, although I can always trade for more, all I have to do is stay ahead of my, like, have enough for any investment when it comes time for it. And trying to wait on deals until I can make bigger ones, generally speaking. What the heck was with the... It changed song for some reason, didn't it? I sworn it was still. We'll go back to that. Where should I get? Sorry, some jaw pain. Not made better by the fact that I keep involuntarily yawning, which I have like some TMJ going on, and I was supposed to try and do an facial surgeon, but then stuff threw my life into disarray, which always seems to happen before I can ever take care of things like this. Heck, I still need to see a dentist. But I can't hear this music at all. Let's turn up. I'm saying well. There we go. So sorry, I'm gonna pause. This is taking too long. Sorry, some days I just drag a little here and there. By the way, at some point I might want to sell the Battle of the Sable Knight. Here it doesn't scale, it's a fixed amount of minis per planet. Well, it always scales the number of planets you have. But I show this off. Yeah, so I could disable both these units and wouldn't slow pop growth, although it does lower planet stability, so it actually pays for itself that way. Especially as I don't have to have as many enforcers that way. But I should probably replace this luxury housing units now on sick. Should also stop. Focusing on the labor just in technicians, like I was doing. He does a reasonable job of balancing those out. Excuse me. It's not like I can't do stuff like this. Actually, that's a pretty good deal. Value food more in trade now? It's a hive mind, so maybe it figures. Still value trade about the same levels of mineral. Which trade is easier to produce than minerals in some ways if I'm getting it from trade hubs for sure. It's on a level of like with food in terms of how easy it is to produce. Yeah, how much energy are they holding on to? Oof. They must have actually increased their storage cap on it. That is a lot. Apparently they only want so much food. I wonder why that is. They close their cap. Somewhat. Oof. This might be a little excessive though. Even though bigger deals are better. Yeah, that's not enough. We'll see them waste resources, even though in the long run they'll be a rival, because I actually probably want to trade with them for a while. And get rich before I attack them. Heck, when I conquer them, I might be ready to immediately turn their pops into sapient ones. Although if I'm going to go Cosmogenesis this run, it has to be argued I don't want to do that, because if you feed hive pops into a synaptic lathe, no one's upset by it. Sentient pops obviously causes huge diplomatic problems on their hand. But yeah, let's do a limited trade there. They really want food. Actually, these guys, everyone wants food for some darn reason. Maybe they'll trade me some food? They really don't want to offer any actually favorable trades. About these guys. Got any food? They must have also had some cells or something. And if I can get enough food from trade for more energy, then give him. It's surprisingly hard to find profitable trade deals. The only thing I can think of is I'm producing some surplus food I'm trading away, which makes still my economy more focused on it. And a lot of trade to Odegon, purity, polity, polity, not purity. They're not like fanatic purifiers or something, thankfully. Sorry with the yawning. Wait. These take the same amount of time? Probably should have prioritized hydroponics bays before trade hubs. Too late now, but may have done them in the wrong order. Though I originally was doing it that way because I was desperate for it. Trade in other empires to give me great rewards for it. Not anymore, though. Alright, and I do need to upgrade my Corvette designs. Yep, I got 3 Buckler class Corvettes that could use upgrades. See, this is like the combination of most of a shield. Well, I mean, with the way it heals on hit, it's like a combination of a shield and a level 2 weapon. More cost effective overall. It doesn't cost upkeep. One second. Yeah, I was just confirming here. My suspicions. I should probably do this. This, of course, make the Buckler and the Bracer almost identical. That the Buckler class won't have armor. Needs something to chew through the armor. Unless... I should say that. That's right, it's under... yeah, physics, mind and lasers. Also same as this. I think I just did this to knock it out so I get other useful rolls later. This improves future rolls, this doesn't. But yeah, I guess this does do double damage to armor. It's not a great weapon, but maybe I'll just build some bracer class or vets. At least the armor is cheaper up front. The long range more expensive. Yeah. Oh, I haven't even messed with the combat computers. I can add to tracking? Ooh, that might actually be useful. It would make the Sentinel point defense a little better. I don't have the power for it, though. It doesn't add to, upkeep at least, but yeah. Alright. So let's throw in a couple buck class. And probably a whole bunch of bracer class because I do seem to recall the closest them use main lasers, but I think they might use some kinetics. Could be wrong. At least their battleship might. Lasers have, of course, some armor. The laser is nice. It's better to go for more cheaper ships because, well, naval power projection also making the Militarist happy if I can get my full naval capacity used. Alright, anyways, let's unpause. Sorry, this took so darn long. Although there were things I was examining of importance. So it wasn't like I was doing nothing. Alright, the orders commandery done. That can't be right. Overnights are supposed to... Okay, there we go. 3.66 stability. That's right. That's their yields, not the yields to me. Does it show production for Overlord on it? I sworn it did. Wait, it produces organic pop. Oh. It's showing a whole group of pops. That's dumb. That's obnoxious, see? Wow. And that is likely to be 2. Turn it down. Wish it would show me the income from the holdings. Somewhere I'm trying to figure out where it is. And you knew where it was in the old interface, but here? Can't seem to find it. One second. Sorry, roommate being obnoxious loud. He's not slamming stuff around, he's talking real. Oh, obnoxious. Aid agency. Agency is founded and staffed by foreign benefactors, bring some of their culture and knowledge to the planet. It should show here. What it should be is there's the production for them, and there should be a line for me, but it's not showing it. Maybe it'll update next month, or maybe it's just bugged. Let's see. I'm at 320 society research. I should look for it to go up. 575 uni. The problem is it always go up a little bit anyways from other reasons like adding squires here. These robots need to resettle to do actual worker jobs. There's quite a few of them. Could do a synth, but Farms and Vitson. Actually, food's trading well right now. I'm gonna make some effort to grow pops and Vitson Prime. Not the less habitable worlds, but that one for sure.
We have detected an anomaly.
Ah, well, that's good at least. While scanning some of the asteroid belt, our science team found some sort of regularity. Still hasn't shown that. Odd readings. Head of research, the James Cook. This is pretty much the optimal situation for finding anomalies. Alright. Score. And we'd only take 98 days. Investigate. Bit of a race here. Void worms here, they're not necessarily friendly, despite it showing them as neutral. Hmm. This is probably one at the head of research here. Just trying to find out the right place. Alright, now we can do this. Get through the Otagon territory quickly. These guys won't trade with me because I offended them. Also should have delayed giving them greetings. That was dumb me. Impatient. They got lots of stuff to trade. Looks like. So annoying me more. I may send envoy to improve relations eventually. Give him a gift, but I don't want resources to spare. Gift to open trade up. I don't know, from a roleplay perspective, it just felt right to try and do their high language, but honestly, the low speak was probably the smart move, since as long as I didn't screw things up too bad, yeah, that would have probably been guaranteed to not cut off trade relations, because they would have always been at wrong empire. Instead of minus 180, it's just minus 80, which I don't think is enough for a Megwar to be suspicious. Even a xenophobe one like that. Alright. Servants gave food for energy deal. I am gonna eventually be running a food deficit with the cloning bats. Tsujimi and then soon Gothar. Let's rename this. Let's call it the Prospectorium Sector, because I know I'm going to turn that into a prospect. That's too long. But the Prospect. Sector. And this, just call it the core center because that's what it is. All right. Boom. Should probably actually go northwest, not south. I'm gonna redo this. One sec. Also, my ears itching like crazy. I'm gonna pause and do this off camera just to save you time. Alright, got this all set up. By the way, a few rules of thumb for these kind of things. I've learned not trying to avoid if the line of survey ever crosses itself, and if you ever get angles that are bigger than right angles, that is obtuse angles instead of acute ones, those are both signs that you've got an inefficient path usually. Or did I say, sorry, bigger, sorry, smaller. You want obtuse angles. You know, two things are almost, well, everything's obtuse on one side and cute. Gah, I'm not making much sense. Well, yeah, you don't want lines crossing each other. And sorry, you want angles that are not bigger than right angles. Usually it depends. You don't want to be like, I wouldn't want to go up here and then double back on itself. I'm not making sense. Basically, you're trying to avoid any sort of backtracking, though, where you go one way and then go back the way you came. So you kind of progressively scan through a system. Rules of thumb, anyways. I messed up. I didn't say it in a simple way, so not useful to explain that way. Sorry. It was clear in my head what I was trying to say, but when I came out, it said it. Get all blurred up. Oh, the tectonic event thing will expire. That's good. I need anything I can that will improve production. So lost bureaucracy here, which can be used to get us add a slum, and thus to add population. Especially good because the alternative is something that costs influence, which is a finite resource, so actually I'm swimming it. Costs influence, but gives a bunch of unity, if I remember. Even my unity increases over time. As I say, add more squires. Actually, I end up adding more priests in Hesek because there's an archive there when I add cities. Add pops and infection. Anyways. It doesn't give me enough to, you know, instantly finish the annihilation, start on biomorphogenesis, so whatever. I don't see anywhere here is gene tailoring, but there is an agenda that can give you a guaranteed option on that in progress, although, well, gene tailoring is such a cheap tech. But when you take biomorphogenesis, you get an agenda that can be used for a number of the biology techs, one by one. Oh, my agendas take forever to run. 70 monthly progress. It's like over 110. It's going to be close to 10 years to run an agenda. It's only going to get worse as empire size grows. One more reason not to go too wide too quickly. Any more? Oh, yeah, I also noticed, I should point this to you guys. The base output for, say, a physicist, it's like only 6 research points, where researchers used to be 4 of each research type, I think, or maybe it was 3. So researchers' base output has been substantially nerfed, plus you don't have all these techs that multiply their output. Overall, it's hard to produce research points in the past, which makes teching slower, which is why people have noticed 4.0 goes slower. Some people say, oh no, it doesn't. Well, maybe they were playing suboptimally before so much, so that, you know, and they've gotten out of some bad habits in 4.0 and are actually going faster, but the maximum rate of progress is slower for sure if you play well and have a good build. Of course, there are certain new synergies and such are added, like genetic identification with a biology path. I think this is added in the biomorphogenesis like DLC update. Could be wrong. Just checking council positions. By the way, I take Imperial Coal. I'm pretty sure this adds to the output of knights. They count as if it's bureaucrat type jobs, administrator jobs. Wish it would specify instead of saying priests when sometimes it's actually all ministers, which includes knights. They're in the same category as priests and bureaucrats for a lot of modifiers. You can actually see that with hold on, veneration of saints, you notice, which is actually something that says priests but also affects knights. And this, same thing. Artifact exhibit affects knights. It'd be worth it if it didn't. Alright. There we go. Should be a little happier here now. This is the Arizona. Yeah, that's right. So this is eventually a tech world. Researcher upkeep. That'd be nice. Of course, you need a lot of researchers for that. Probably double spec world into tech for it to really be worthwhile. Some of the designation effects are just so much better than others that sometimes you don't even, like, you may have a world with more researchers than miners, but mining world can actually be better because the effects on miners are much stronger. You know, a 25% boost output instead of a 20% reduction in upkeep. It's more, you know, it's 1.5 minerals instead of something like 0.4 consumer goods, which is not nearly as valuable per 100 pops. Anyways, yeah, let me check back on this. Oh yeah, you can see production. Knights. 11 value. Yeah. And some quest progress. It doesn't show it, but there anyways. But yeah, it definitely added to my naval capacity. Oh, from holding. So yeah, it shows it there. And otherwise reduces subject loyalty. This is actually a pretty good job. Well, not pretty good. It's actually a reasonable job for them if they're running unyielding. And without some stability. Not insane upkeep. And for me, I don't know, this should probably be loyalty neutral, but whatever. Found where the thing was showing its effects anyways, is the point. Over here in the production. Might not have updated immediately, I'm not sure. Alright. This world with only 20 technicians. Should definitely go right into automation building. It's not worth adding a multiplier building yet or anything. For 4.8 upkeep. That'll eventually become 5.6. Should gain 75 technician jobs. Which, yeah, that's going to produce more in its own upkeep, so cool. And a lot of voltaic production yard, which will add further profitability to the automation building, and by adding more jobs can be automated. Look, we get another 50 automated jobs from it, and then an energy grid at that point will be profitable. 125 automated jobs plus like 20 ops. That'd be super profitable. Actually, maybe less than another voltaic yard, but definitely more profitable once the jobs are filled, which they will be. Alright, anyhow. Alright, Bubbles has been staying here long enough. She's slow. Need her to start off to Sejimia Station. I don't think I can wait for these spring class to all finish. Get started on the buckler soon. Then I'll have that fleet head at Sejimia will be producing more buckler class corvettes soon, before much longer. Trying to gather up a fleet here in case the next group of cultists in that area. No idea where they'll be. And if I kind of, glance ahead, no, Higma will have the shipyard. Assuming the custodian fleet was here, so I should be able to beat them there before they can destroy that. That's the hope. Anyhow.
Anomalous readings registered.
But guys, otherwise you guys might hear some colorful language when I miss out on the shipyard schematics. An invitation, a signal beacon orbits, beckoning travelers near. On the asteroid, giant metal monolith looms, its purpose unknown. Pretty sure that monolith is more along the lines of a space vending machine in space, if I remember that event. But whatever. Monolith, air quote. Ernst Klein can investigate. Carefree. Scientist. I'm gonna ship the Hubble. 100 Bergmeister. We'll soon enough reach level 5 and maybe get a useful trait from it. If I remember correctly, there's one that gives uni when you, or no, maybe that used to be the veteran class. You used to get uni from surveying, explore. I think they got, yeah, pretty sure they got rid of it though. So maybe it was some trait after explore. I don't know. sick of the songs being so wildly different in volume levels. Ah, first contact event. Some mech aliens. The vessels detected in the Hesyx not really in the Hesyx system seem to be part of some sort of expedition across the galaxy. The purpose is unknown. They have not made any hostile moves, nor is there any heavy weaponry in evidence. Instead, they seem to be broadcasting repetitive, but not particularly content-filled signals in our general direction. Our envoy, namely Fowler, is confused, but hopes that the broadcast will help our linguists translate their language. This is with the, mech aliens, didn't I have some... I don't even remember when I did the other first contacts. I think I finished them successfully. I don't... Was I beat? So I guess this is, anyways, the Caravassery Commission, whatever, there's like a envoy or... No, Caravassery is the, isn't that their space station? I don't remember. Space merchants, though, basically. They're broadcasting ads. Heads up. That. I won't queue up the Volte production yard there yet. These rails are a little tight. Nobody's improving relations I can see. Let's check on that. You can always, well, put this first contact in the back burner. I think they'll transmit language. They don't have envoys of their own. Unless they enter my territory. I think it's instant. And this is closer to being able to be reassigned. I can send Kenneth Skinner to go improve relations with this empire. Maybe. Maybe. Saved a while. Gotten lucky with drawing a lot of anomalies, so I'll just do that.